Hi guys, and welcome back to another episode of Jenk Plays with me, Jenk Hoffington. Today we're playing some more Transport Fever 2. Last episode, you may remember, we put in our oil line here to create refined oil and then refined fuel, shipping it back and forth to maintain a sufficient profit level, and then distributing it to Salt Lake City. You may notice that there's quite a backlog here, and I was considering the possibility of adding another train to this line, beefing it up a little bit, but honestly, based off the actual flow of traffic through, I don't think it's actually going to be worth the investment at this point in time, given the flow rate and demand within the city. So we'll potentially do something else today, maybe do some industrial supply for another large city. Probably a simpler line than we've got here, maybe in trucks instead of trains as well, looking at our balance. Potentially we could take out some more loans to grow, but I think we need to think a little bit carefully about what it was that we'd spend that money on, and right now I'm not necessarily clear on what that might be. So if we take a look at our larger cities, we can have a look at them and see what we're doing. So at the moment we can see Salt Lake isn't very well connected, but actually looking around it, the nearest towns and cities aren't that large. So it doesn't really feel worth the investment right now to put in transport links around here to improve their transport. If we move down, we've got Fargo, which we did a bit of work on in episode 1, and we can see they're pretty happy in terms of transport connections, but they're not being supplied anything from their industries. So let's just take a quick look at what they want. So they want some construction materials. So our nearest construction material site is here, and then we can then see we've got another one here with some quarries all around. There's quite a few quarries here, and this is interesting. Abandoned industry. Closes in 9 minutes. So if we're not using them, do they then shut down? See, this is the new functionality, the new gameplay coming through from the new update to Transport Fever 2. So we're playing on the test branch at the moment, so I've not actually seen this before. So if we stop using it, things may disappear. To be honest, right now, I'm not particularly concerned about that one. We've got plenty of other fuel on the map, and I'm assuming other crude oil sources will generate over time as well, based off the fact that we can have multiple industries appear. So let's not worry about that too much just yet, and focus on what we were doing, which is considering construction materials. So we can see both Pueblo and Fargo want construction materials. We have quite a lot of supply here to get from a quarry to construction material, and we just need to get it over here. But if you remember episode 1, getting over here is potentially quite expensive. So let's just have a quick look. Let me just close that tip. Let's just have a quick look at how expensive it's going to be to get across there. Yeah, that's still too expensive. That's not to say we couldn't ship it over, but then we start looking at ships, and actually ships are probably just as expensive. So we go small. Yeah, so having a ship go across is probably just as expensive as having a bridge. So maybe we don't do construction materials just yet, because I don't think we've got quite enough money to justify it right now. Certainly, yeah, so there's no way to get construction materials, a quarry materials into here to feed that construction materials one, and on the other hand, shipping construction materials in is also going to be quite expensive as well. So maybe we don't do that one just yet. So what else do we need down here? If we go back to our larger cities, actually, let's focus on our larger cities. So we've got Little Rock down here. So we did some work on Little Rock the other day, and we put in a simple transport link just to loop around the city, and they seem to like that quite a bit, actually. They are growing, so they've got a growth rate plus 4% at the moment because they've got decent transport links. Let's see where they are trying to get to. Yeah, so they're perfectly happy shipping around within their little town, and they are very happy using our public transport, so don't need to worry about that. But they do want construction materials, and interestingly, they are near construction materials site. So what I might suggest we do today is set up a simple construction materials supply chain and distribute into Little Rock, because we're now seeing that it's actually our third largest. Earlier on in the series it wasn't that large, but because we put in that little transport link just a while back, they've grown, and we can see that's going to make their demand grow as well. So let's get that set up. And actually, looking at this, if we saturate, where have you jumped to, Little Rock? If we saturate the construction materials here, then that will be able to supply Little Rock in its entirety. So 400, 1 to 1. So this one quarry we need to take 100 out of, and 100 there, and that should be pretty affordable. So let's just have a quick look at setting this up. We may need to take a loan. I'm just keeping an eye on that figure. We may need to keep a loan. If we do 0, 30, how far along can we get? Do it that way around. So almost. Okay. So yeah, I'm reluctant to put in extra roads, but if we do it to there, put in a quick link into here. So then take that in. While actually thinking about it, we're going to want a second terminal. Do another cargo. So the reason I want to put in a second cargo terminal is because I'm going to have them ship the quarry materials to here, and then the construction materials back, and then use a second loop to take the construction materials from here through into Little Rock. So this way we get paid both ways. It's a good job I thought of that while I was doing that, otherwise I'd look a bit silly coming back to it. Okay, and then this one we can actually go straight in. They're pretty happy to just go straight in, and again we'll do it along this side because then it makes it easier to extend potentially later on. Oh my, we can get very far along here with this one. Okay, so if we take it to there, and the reason why I want these as short as possible is because it increases the rate. You do get paid more if you take them further, but when we're talking about a distance this short, it doesn't really feel worth the effort of extending that out. Right now I feel that the rate is more important to me. And if we remember our naming conventions, we've got road freight, it's going to be Las Vegas, LV quarry to LV CM, CM for construction materials, and then if we just do what we can see, so this one means you only get shown the ones you can actually have in your site. We want them to, starting at Las Vegas East, we'll really want to flip that for it to make more sense. So actually if we start at Las Vegas Central, then go to Las Vegas East. So Las Vegas Central is going to load quarry materials, and then they're going to unload construction materials, and then vice versa here, they're going to load construction materials and unload quarry materials. And then we want to add another point over here, so we get our truck unload stop, and we can see actually get quite a lot of coverage from being in the center. We've got to be careful that we don't overlap as well. So actually I think it'd be more important to cover at the moment that half and not worry so much about those two there, because that's where most of the demand is coming, although as you can see it's hemmed in here, so we'd expect the industry to grow around here as the town grows out in this direction. I don't think it's likely to climb up on top of the mesa. There we go. So we've then got another line to add, so from the quarry site through to our distribution point, and that will be called road freight, LV CM to Little Rock dist. I might be a little bit inconsistent here in terms of my naming schemes, but we'll come back and review them later once they're actually all set up, and we can have a little bit more of a think about what that actually looks like. And then we'll set in a road depot somewhere in the middle here. There you go, nice and tidy. Looking at that money there, we're going to want quite a few of these. So 23,000 each. So if we take out a loan, there you go, we pause it as well. Oh, just to check the date as well, I'll pause the date. Let me put that back to normal. Pause the date while I was running it for a bit to get some money back. And I didn't want it to skip forwards, so we'll put it back to normal now. And essentially we're just going to spend all the money we've just taken out on the loan. And we're going to do all but, say, I mean it's 1 to 1 to 1. So if we start with actually the construction side of it there, and let's see what that rate is. We're looking for about a rate of around 100, so we've got way too many there actually. So if we take that over, we can put some of those onto our distribution. A little bit more. Distribution, 115. And then Little Rock distribution is going to be 7. Let me just check that and put that a lot more distribution. There we go. 13. So, a bit of a problem here where we're going to be saturating this line here. So we're going to accumulate plenty of construction materials here, but the rate at which we can get them over till Little Rock is very slow. We're going to need essentially 10 times as many vehicles we've got now. So we just select the managed vehicles here. We can see we've got 10 vehicles. So we're going to need 100 vehicles to get that up to 100. And frankly, right now, I don't think that's worth the investment. So let's just let this go, and then we'll see again with that warning. Right now, I'm not that worried. Come talk to me again in a couple of hours when we've run out of oil wells. But for now, yeah, let's just let that run. Let these guys come out. We can see already generating our quarry materials here. Let me set that actually, manage the line. So they're going to load up on construction materials down here, and then they're going to unload construction materials on the other end, and we want them to load, full load, and we'll let them wait a bit because we don't want them looping. Yeah, let them wait forever. We don't want them looping while they don't have anything on, because they're just going to cause pollution. But we just need to make sure that they're not going to get in the way as they come through. Actually, I want to change those around. So that one to terminal 2 and that one to terminal 1. Yeah, okay. Yeah, that should be alright. Yeah, it's not alright. Okay. Let's stop them waiting for now. And then by the time they come back, actually thinking about it, I might just get all of them to go, I want to manage line, manage vehicles, get all of those to go back to the depot. Back to the depot. Then they'll get out of the way, because we need this line to get up and running first. We need the quarry materials to go to the construction materials. Another oil well. Requirements. So product actually. So that one's closing. Okay. Let's see what happens with these oil wells. I don't know why all of my oil wells are going, but let's see how that goes. And machines as well. Oh my gosh. I'm hoping that the inverse is also true, that at some point other factories will come online. Right now we don't really care because we're just focusing on our little bit down here. I'm hoping other industries will come online, but we'll see. Okay, so we should shortly be getting some. Is it going to be because let me put one vehicle on the distribution, and then they should start taking it back. There we go. Yeah, it's because I didn't have the final link connected, so we send out one for now. They should start pulling construction materials back. So it's got one. See that it's starting to accumulate. It's still one. But as more and more quarry materials come in, we'll get more of a buffer of quarry material here. And then that will then get turned into construction materials. And once we've got a bit of a buffer and a farm. Okay, a bit of a time pressure there. But let's not worry about that. Again, this is just a test of this new expansion or the new update, and if it doesn't work out, we can always do another series. We can always play something else. For now, let's just have a play, enjoy ourselves, and do what we're doing. Okay, so there. I now think that that's enough for me to start sending out some of these guys. Oh, there we go. Yeah, so interesting. We'll put you on distribution. There. Okay, so new industries do come online. It does warn you. I'm wondering if it's a one-to-one, so every one that they take away, they give you a new one. But we'll see. I'm not going to read the wiki. I'm not that fussed right now. Let's just focus on doing what we're doing. Okay, so we now have enough of a buffer, I think, to get more of these guys out without causing a queue in here. I'm almost inclined to see if I can turn off those notifications, but they'll probably be more useful later on once we're actually more established. But if we're not using an industry, we don't really care, do we? So, yeah. Okay, it keeps going. I think I'm happy enough to let all of these guys out now. We should have enough of a flow through to get them full and going. I say, let's just keep an eye on it. Yellow, yellow, yellow. Ooh. Backing up a bit. Should be enough though. Yeah, there we go, there's enough. And we're still saying load, full load any. Let's increase that max stop time. We don't really care actually. Could probably just reset that. Because now, with the flow rate as it is, this should be saturating. So we should be going 126. So we're shipping 100 from here to here. So actually this is slightly too high. But we'll leave that in. It's nice to have a little bit of redundancy in there just in case. But we can see this is now going to have 100 construction materials going back and forth. And eventually this will level up and make more, but we don't need to worry about that too much just yet. And now we can see we're getting our construction material. We've got a nice buffer coming in. And the rate of flow on here is going to be pretty low for a while. But I'm looking down here, we have enough money to actually potentially bung a whole bunch more on. So there's two options. We could either use this road depot to buy them and then attach them, or manage vehicles, 23 each. Let's just double it. There we go. Rate up to 26. Currently a loss-making line, but that's going to be because it takes so darn long to actually do the full journey. So you can see here our first, oh, there we go. Our first bunch of distribution people are on their way back, but they were probably empty. Yeah, they've barely even met their needs. So we can now see we've actually got supply coming in now. Oh, interesting. Okay, so instead of using this depot down here, which is right next to the line and right where it needs to be, let's use this depot up here to ship them all out. So these guys are going to be costing us money the entire way down. Not especially happy about that, but they're on their way. It's alright. There'll be plenty of construction materials ready for them when they get down there. We can now see this guy coming in. Fair chance. So this was our first guy to drop something off, I think. Yeah, it's not saying that he's had anything. But here we go. This guy's our first full load. Apologies for jumping around a bit. Let's close some of these windows. We can see even at triple speed, he's going pretty slowly. That's because he's only got 2 horsepower. He's coming all the way over there. He comes around this corner, this massive mesa as he comes around, and there we go. He's on his way to his final destination. So I'll climb this hill with a load full of bricks. Comes down, he'll probably get some speed down here, into the city, drop it off, and then loop back around. Then Little Rock should start being pretty happy with what they're being supplied. This will then help them grow. Even though they're there, these guys coming down. You can see actually we've actually overloaded this distribution point, this truck hub, and we're starting to actually lose material. So once you get over a certain threshold, you start losing it. And since, I don't know if it's this update or an earlier update, they give you the threshold as well. So you can see the maximum we can hold here is 60. So if we add another one, let's see if that goes up to 70, it goes to 80. So each one of these blocks is worth 20. So considering the fact that we know that we've got quite a bit of capacity in the system that we're not going to be able to fully utilize for a while, I'm just going to put in a buffer, which gives us 140. So we're going to hit that pretty quickly. But it's for now cheaper than adding trucks. Although I'm saying that, I'm looking at our budget. We could definitely afford more. Let's see. Go for another 10. Go for another 10. Come on, tick up. Oh no, it's gone down. Okay, never mind. We'll leave that for a bit. We'll come back when we've got some money. We'll add some more. We should have a fair bit of supply coming into Little Rock now. You know, we've got 13, 16. Every truck that drops off, you can see it's adding up, and it'll consume them, I think. So if we don't give them time to consume, if we don't feed them quickly enough, that figure's going to drop. You can see we've got actually a queue of people dropping. They're not that quick on loading. As the game progresses, you get quick unloaders. There we go, it's ticking up. So it's got decent internal transport links. It's getting construction materials. And actually, there's quite a bit of demand here. Terminals, let's see, so 23 is 60, so actually quite a bit of capacity still here, capacity there. I think with that set up, and all of these guys have just turned up as well, they're very happy to get going. I think that'll be it for today. So thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you next time.